Hey guys, welcome back to another video, the last one for 2021, and what better way to say goodbye to this year than to do a pickups video, a digital only pickups video for the ongoing Steam winter sale, which goes until, as you guys can see here, January 5th. So I thought I'd release my video today as soon as possible. That way, if you guys see something that you may like, you still have some time to pick up the games via Steam. There's a ton of great deals, and I picked up a lot of games. So let's get going. I'm about to crack this open. Arcus by Big Storm Brewery, a local brewery, to celebrate the New Year. It's a pale ale that it's very tasty. So I'm about to crack this open and get this thing rolling. But without further ado, let's just look at the games that I picked up during the sale. Let's see. The first one I want to go over is Alfaria Genesis, which is a Kemco JRPG. Not very popular. I know this is not the most popular game. In fact, this is based on a mobile game, as far as I'm concerned. But it's supposed to be a solid JRPG with turn-based mechanics. The graphics are old school. They resemble kind of like older, I guess, PS2 era types of games. They have 3D battle systems, but kind of like a 2D art, as you guys can see here. The character models and the overworld view and all that. So I don't know. I figure I'd give it a shot. It was on sale for cheap. And the art style looks pretty neat, and the reviews are fairly positive. It's not the best RPG for sure, but it was on sale and it was on my wish list, so I decided to pick this up. I believe there's a sequel to this game that came out recently, but I picked up the first game, see if I like it, and then I'm gonna go from there. So this was on sale. Let's see. For $5, so can't go wrong. Well, for a JRPG, I think it's like 20 hours long, maybe around 20 hours. So pretty good length, and for $5, I decided to pull the trigger. It was on my wish list. Next up, we have a game that was on Game Pass, and in fact, it may still be well on Game Pass, but this is very well suited for playing on PC with a keyboard and mouse. It's a deck builder, roguelike type of game, and that game is Monster Train. This game got released last year to very, very positive and rave reviews and impressions from people that like this types of games, card games. So it just got a lot of great reviews, a lot of awards for game, card game of the year and whatnot. So decided to pull the trigger, even though I believe this might still be available on Game Pass. But again, I prefer using the keyboard and mouse nature of the game to select the cards and whatnot. Plus, this game is also compatible with GeForce Now, which is the kind of like the streaming service for Steam, if you will. So if you own this game on Steam and you have a GeForce Now account, you're able to play this streaming via the cloud pretty much anywhere you are. So pretty cool looking game, as you guys can see, and this was on sale for $10, so not too shabby. It's supposed to be one of the best card games out there. Let's see, next up we have a indie kind of like a fairly famous game, Gris. This was also on Game Pass, I believe, last year. And it's just a very stylistic, like artistic game where the art is all that drives the game forward. As you guys can see here, it has a very minimalistic kind of like UI, where it's a side-scrolling puzzle game, but the graphics are excellent. The game is on the shorter side, but the experience is what matters in Gris. And I'm definitely looking forward to this. I know a few people that have played this game and have nothing but positive things to say about Gris. As you guys can see here, the art, it's just beautiful, very, very colorful, very artsy. And the game was on sale for $4.24. So a very good value for a very solid indie game. Next up is a game that I think BioPhoenix recommended to me, and that game is Songbird Symphony. It's supposed to be a side-scroller, kind of like platforming / I guess Metroidvania game. featuring this singing bird. So I believe there are some sort of rhythm mechanics involved in the game, which is, sounds pretty cool. Sounds pretty different in my opinion. So as you guys can see here, it has a very catching, sprite-based, art direction, which is pretty cool. So yeah, decided to pick this up. It was on my wish list after BioPhoenix recommended the game, and the game is music-based, but it's also kind of like a Metroidvania in the type of game. So as you guys can see, the graphics are just very colorful, and the game just looks good overall. So excited to give this one a shot, and this was on sale for, let's see, for $5. So looking forward to trying this game sooner rather than later. Next up is a classic. This was on my to play list for the PS3 because I do own this game on the PlayStation 3, but I'm finding myself buying a lot of the third-party PlayStation 3 games that I have in my collection, rebuying them on Steam just because of the convenience and because my PS3 is not going to last forever. So Max Payne 3, it was an easy choice since it was on sale for $7. It's supposed to be a very solid Max Payne game, and again, I have the PS3 version, and the Steam version gives me that flexibility of playing it, whenever I want. I don't know how long my PS3 is gonna last, and that's the last one I have. I've gone through like 3 different PlayStation 3 systems. So yeah, Max Payne 3 can't go wrong. Action-based game with the slow time effects and all that. So definitely looking forward to playing Max Payne 3 in the future. Next one is an indie game that got fairly positive reviews from the people that have played this. It's a indie horror game, as you guys can see here, and it's a UP Psycho. This is the executive edition, which was updated, I believe, this year with new content. The game has a very cool, sprite-based kind of graphics, but with very cool like cutscenes, as you guys can see here. And it's supposed to be a very solid indie horror game. As you guys know, I kind of like those. I did some impressions videos last year on Matt Father and other kind of like indie over-the-top RPG games, with RPG Maker and whatnot. So this looks fairly interesting. The art direction is pretty cool, and it's supposed to be a good one. The reviews here, it's overwhelmingly positive, over 3,000 positive reviews. So looking forward to trying this, and the game was on sale for $6.66. Maybe a coincidence, but yeah, looking forward to try this game at one point. Next up is another game that I had on my Steam wishlist for the longest time, and that game is The Darkest Dungeon, which is a turn-based kind of like RPG that it's supposed to be brutally hard. The game was on sale for $3.74, so you can't beat the price, but it's been on my wish list for a very long time, and I haven't pulled the trigger just because I keep hearing things that this game is brutally hard and it's very frustrating. But if you manage to get a good handle of the game and its mechanics, it's supposed to be actually a very solid kind of like a dungeon crawler, turn-based hardcore RPG, if you will, with very dark themes. So as you guys can see, has a very interesting art direction, very dark, very somber. This one, unfortunately, this video doesn't have any gameplay on it. I hate when they when they do that, but the gameplay, the character models, they look pretty good. As you guys can see here, it has like a stylish cartoon style almost, if you will. So yeah, it's supposed to be a very fun one, but also at the same time brutally hard. So I kept putting off purchasing this game, but for $3, I couldn't say no. So looking forward to I guess delving into this game at one point or another. Next up is a Hidden Folks, which is kind of like a hidden object game where you have to find things. It's kind of hard to see here. Let me see if I can find a video and put it on full screen. But yeah, the game is basically that. You have to find hidden objects in areas where you have a ton of things going on at the same time. As you guys can see here, the sceneries or the levels are very different. Some of them are nature related. Some of them are, as you guys can see, in the forest, in the concert. And at the bottom of your screen, you have a list of things that you have to find. And once you find all the hidden objects, then you move on to the next level. It's a pretty cool game. I actually started playing this, and it has some really cool options like filters to avoid your eyes hurting, because I don't deal well with white backgrounds, as you guys can see here. It's a very bright background, but the game has like a dark background option and other things like that. So pretty good game. It was on sale for $3.89, so decided to pull the trigger and get it. And it's just a very relaxing game. Finding the hidden objects. It's a pretty fun game. Next up, we have a classic, a game that I already own actually, and that game is Cave Story Plus. I actually did a impressions video or a review video a couple years ago. I have the Switch physical version of this game, but it was on sale for, let's see, for $3, as you guys can see there. So just wanted to have the I guess the convenience of having the digital version on my computer at all times, because Cave Story is one of those classic indie Metroidvania games that really started the true, made by one player type of indie success stories. This game was created by one person, and it was one of those first indie games, that was truly successful from the ground up. So this is an updated version with new graphics and whatnot, and published by Nicalis. But if you guys are into Metroidvania games, this is actually a very solid and fairly short, which is pretty cool, Metroidvania game. Highly recommended if you guys are into indie adventure games like that. Next up is something that I had on my wish list. I don't know how this made it, but it's Trouble Witch's Origin, Episode 1, Daughters of Amalgam. So I don't know the background on this game, but it's supposed to be a fairly decent like shooter game. As you guys can see, it's a shoot 'em up, horizontal shoot 'em up with a lot of things going on the screen. Let's see if we can put a gameplay video. But it's supposed to be episode 1, and I don't think there's an episode 2, which is kind of weird. But the game is on sale for $1, 99 cents. And again, I think I had this on my wish list. It just looks pretty cool, with the hectic shmup, activity on the screen. A lot of enemies, a lot of things that you collect, coins when you kill the enemies and whatnot. Unfortunately, it's a little bit blurry now because my internet connection is probably crapping out. But as you guys can see here, very cool art, very cool backgrounds, and I don't know, for $1, even if the game it's super short, I think I'm gonna get my money's worth. So. An interesting game, Trouble Witch's Origin. I don't know the background of the game, but it looks like a fairly decent horizontal shmup, if you will. Going into the racing games, we have Asceto Corsa. This is a game that it's on the older side. This game was released, let's see, on 2014, as you guys can see here. However, it's one of those games that keeps getting updated with new DLC content and mods. And the game just looks great. For being an older title, it keeps receiving like texture updates. And as you guys can see here, this game is about just about any car that you can imagine. You have classic, Mazda Miatas. You have this crazy racing types of vehicles, rally cars. You can do Formula Ones, cars, and so forth, supercars, exotic cars. So with the amount of mods and DLC contents, this is a very easy game to pick up if you're a car enthusiast. This game was on sale for $4, but this is I actually bought the Season Pass edition, I think. As you guys can see, it's the Ultimate Edition. I think that's the one I bought that has every single content, every single DLC. So, and again, this is supported by, I believe, GeForce now, so I can play this via the cloud pretty much anywhere. So it's one of those racing games that it's very successful on the PC realm. And happy to just have it because it's one of those games that it's a never-ending racing game that it's always been supported with different content. I also purchased the Unravel Bundle that contains Unravel 1 and Unravel 2. For whatever reason, Unravel 2 is much cheaper. It was like $2. I can't see the price here because it's already in my library, but I think I already own Unravel 1. It was like a PlayStation Plus game, a free game, but I decided to purchase the bundle and then have the two games on my Steam library for convenience sake. I played the first Unravel, but I did not beat the game, so this is a very good excuse for me to go back. And these are like side-scrolling artsy games that remind me of Yoshi's Woolly World, but the graphics in these games are just simply amazing. So definitely looking forward to go back to Unravel. They have typically puzzle elements involved in the side scrolling or in the platforming sections. From what I recall, some of the puzzle elements were a little bit frustrating, unfortunately, which is I think why I dropped the game. But I think overall, the game just looks great, as you guys can see, and the art style, it reminds me a lot of the Yoshi Woolly World type of games. So definitely looking forward to go back to the Unravel games now that I have both. Maybe I should play both and see what the sequel is all about. Next up, we're getting close to the end. Another racing game that I played a ton. This was a game that I actually still own it on the Nintendo Wii U. I remember buying this game and enjoying it quite a bit on the Wii U system. And that game is Need for Speed Most Wanted. So it was on sale here on Steam for $2. For $2. This is a game that I put a ton of time. It's kind of like open world. You're in this city, and then you can do races, challenges, and so forth. The car selection is pretty decent. You also have obviously the most wanted theme, which means you're gonna be chased by the police, as you guys can see here. So it's a really fun game. I had a lot of fun playing this on the Wii U back in the day. So I figured might as well pick up the Steam version for $2. You can't go wrong. I know it's an older title, but I do have a lot of fond memories playing this game on my Nintendo Wii U out of all the platforms. So we're almost close to the end. I believe there's only 2 more games. This is another game that I had on my wish list for the longest time. It's a Harvest Moon type of game, My Time at Portia. It's a little bit of an older title at this point. I think it's like maybe 5 or 6 years old. And I believe there's a newer title from the same developer. But this particular game, as you guys can see, it's almost like a Harvest Moon type of farming game. But at the same time, it's played from a behind-the-back 3D perspective. I know a lot of the Harvest Moon games are kind of like over the top, from above, kind of like other farm types of games. But this one, as you guys can see here, it's like a 3D. You have full control of your character, and it's the same type of deal, I think. But it's supposed to be a very solid game based on the reviews and the critical acclaim. So. Again, it was on sale for cheap. It was on my wish list. As you guys can see here, it has like 27,000 very positive reviews. It's supposed to be very, very fun, and therefore I picked the game up during the winter sale. And I believe this is the last game I have for you guys. These are actually 2 games that were on as part of a bundle. As you guys can see here, there's 3 games. This is called the For Your Consideration bundle. Now, Loop Hero, I already owned this game, so the cool thing about Steam sales is that the bundles get adapted based on what you have on your own library. So I already had Loop Hero, but I do not have Inscription, and I do not have Death Store. Now, Death's Door, it's a very interesting isometric, kind of like Souls-esque type of game. It's supposed to be very challenging, very hard, but it's a new game. It came out this year, and it just got a lot of rave reviews. You know, a lot of positive reviews. As you guys can see here, you have like this isometric view, and the game has very precise controls where you have to dodge the attacks of the enemies and whatnot. There's a lot of collectibles and things of that nature. So Death's Door had a lot of critical acclaim from major publications and people that have played the game, and very interesting art style too, kind of like on the dark side, as you guys can see here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying Death's Door now that I have it on Steam. Yeah, it looks like a very interesting, but at the same time, very, very challenging game. So looking forward to it. Not sure when I'm going to play it, but it's a new 2021 release that really intrigued me. And then the other game that was part of the bundle, let's go and click on Inscription. It's a game that has been receiving a ton of praise. And as you guys can see here, this game just got released late in 2021. And it already has like 42,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews. And I have a friend at work that he swears by this game. He's like, this is my game of the year. He just finished this game. And I'm somewhat familiar. The game is developed by Daniel Mullins Games, which is the same guy that did Pony Island, which is it's one of my favorite like indie games that I have on my Steam library. I haven't done an impressions video on Pony Island because I haven't beat the game. I made it pretty far, and I got really frustrated with the puzzles, but I want to go back because there's some very interesting elements, like fourth wall type of elements that I believe have made their way to Inscription. Like every single person or review that you hear about Inscription out there, they don't want to spoil the game. This is supposed to be a card game that also has like hidden room elements. Like you play your cards, you build your deck, but at the same time you're free to like stand up and explore this room that you're in. So there's a lot of puzzle solving, there's a lot of card battling, or building your own deck, defeating bosses and enemies. There are puzzles, and I can almost assure myself that there will be like fourth wall elements similarly to Pony Island, because that's kind of like the I guess the highlight of Daniel Mullins as a developer. He likes to explore the fourth wall types of elements. So I'm looking forward to this game. It was part of the bundle. This got released in 2021, so maybe I do want to play this because the hype for this game has been just unreal. So I think that's it for now. These are my Steam winter sale of 2021 pickups. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later. Take it easy.